All right, that was "Made Up True Love" by Slaughter Beach. Now, guys, with this song and the other song you sent me, "Spinning Globe," you guys said you started with these singles, and now do you guys already have a few more singles written, or there are songs you're working at the moment?
Well, we have actually a lot of music. We have songs that we're working on at the moment. I think we're close to have made a decision about which songs it's going to be, but I think we're very close to having another few songs ready. I mean,
Are you guys going to be since that's going to happen relatively soon? Do you guys have any plans to start playing gigs, or do you have any that are possibly lined up at all?
Well, at the moment, that is stuff we're working at. I mean, as said, this whole thing is so new, and things are just starting to happen, now. So this is all a part of the bigger plan that we're working on. So hopefully within like a couple of months, something like that, we will we will know way more about that stuff. And as soon as we know more about it, we're gonna post it, put it on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter. Yeah.
No, that'd be great because I would very much like to have you guys back on when the actual EP is done, so we can talk more about it and go more in depth. Because I always every time a new band releases a new EP or working on a second EP, that sort of thing, I always like to have them back on the show because there's new stuff to talk about. And but this is nice too because excuse me, it's since you guys are just starting, this is really fresh. So this is kind of cool for everybody. So everybody's kind of getting a first peek of what you guys are actually really all about. Even though no stuff's in the making right now, that's fine. But people want to know about the stuff anyways.
No. Well, but it would be great for us to come back to the show and tell a little more what's happening.
No, and that's fine, man. So far, I've got a lot of good information out of this. The one thing I was gonna get to next actually is, so far I know that you guys are like relatively new, and have you guys been able to take advantage or have the social media work for you at all, like i.e. like Twitter and SoundCloud, that sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, we're using SoundCloud and Twitter a lot, and it's we find it really it's really positive. We've gained so much positive feedback, and I mean, it's so easy nowadays to you really have an opportunity to get out there,
Yeah.
And that's great. So far, what we've done really is we've been writing music, we've recorded it, and then we just put it out there. And if people enjoy what you put out there, things start to happen. So yeah, it's really great.
Well, that's right, because it only takes a few people to start spitting around, and once it's
exactly.
up in the social media, like more and more people start to look and listen. Now, one thing I've been told about SoundCloud, I use SoundCloud. I'm actually going to renew because I'm all filled up with hours, but that's besides the point. One thing I was going to ask about is I've been told before is when people listen to your music, it actually tells you from where they're listening from, like what country.
Yeah.
So have you guys noticed like a bunch of different ones up there, or has it mostly been local?
No, it's a lot of different countries. It's USA is the most played country of so.
Well, you know what? I can see that just because, I mean, indie at the moment and for a while it has been pretty big here. I mean, with bands like the Strokes and the White Stripes, even though Jack White has umpteen different other side projects now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all along the lines of the same thing. Like one of my other favorite indie projects is The Dead Weather.
Yeah.
So and that sort of thing. So you're kind of hitting the market at an opportune time because even though there's all these bands out there, it's just a matter of putting your own spin on it and making it sound a little bit different to kind of stick out, and that's what you guys have done from what I've noticed in the two songs I've listened to I don't know how many times already. So
thank you so much. Thanks. That means a lot to us. Thank you.
I've noticed that it's a lot of fun for me because I'm one of those people like I'm just an all around music fan and I like to put my all into these bands. So when I listen to it, I pick it apart, not to the point where I mean I've got it shredded to tiny little molecules, but to the point where I can pretty much say no, I like the song because of this reason, this reason, this reason, and these guys sound like they're going to do well because this and this, and just it's fun for me because I like to dive into it and see what it's all about, and it makes it so much more interesting for me when I can pick out little things, whether it be like an influence I've had the band never even thought of before, that sort of thing. And that leads me to my next question: is if you guys had to pick, let's say, 3 musical influences, either all together or 3 each, whatever you like, who would they be?
I think we can do it all together.
Yeah.
Well, I can say for all of us, Elliott Smith, for sure. Yeah.
Is that?
That's one. You guys?
I'm gonna say the Beatles because of I think we pretty much agree on
that one because of the enormous influence, that the Beatles have had on everything ever since. It's kind of a cliche, but it's you can't avoid it. Really.
Yeah, and also like a lot of 90s indie acts has been a very big influence to us. I think there's Granddaddy and Elliott Smith and
Built to Spill
and Modest Mouse.
But it's very hard to make it 3. Yeah, I guess.
Oh no, fair enough. You're absolutely right because there's so many good musical talent out there and so many influences that I know. Even though it's a hard question, I just I kind of like to ask to see anyways if people can narrow it down to 3 because it's just like naming your 3 favorite bands. Like you can name maybe 3 off the top of your head. But then you think of like this band, and it kind of goes for everything. So it's just interesting because it kind of makes you think a little bit. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very hard just to boil it down to just 3 because whenever you think of one, here comes another and another.
One leads to another.
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely right. But it's always fun just to see if
If it's possible.
Well, yeah, if it's possible is pretty much the main thing too. Because I was looking over your little bio there too, so I knew about Modest Mouse and Elliott Smith. I just wanted to ask you if there's any others that weren't listed because, just like we talked about, there could be so many.
Yeah. But also, I mean, even though it doesn't sound like it, I think all of us have like a lot of different like 70s influences as well. All Things Must Pass, George Harrison. All these nice pop rock things from the 70s. Big Star, for example, quite huge influences as well.
Well, I can definitely say the 70s party influences I can definitely notice in Spinning Globe. That I can tell you for sure.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it's one of those things that regardless of what type of music's played, it all comes back around in some way or another, and it's always interesting to see of how it comes back around because there's always going to be a little twist, a little different thing to it to make it change a little bit, and that's the part of the thing is the music is constantly evolving.
Yeah,
and that's another reason that makes it so much fun, and especially for you guys because when you guys are playing your music, there's you come up with something you haven't really heard before, and it makes it that much more exciting in your writing process.
But the great thing is that the thing you're talking about with that all of a sudden the 60s are back or the 70s or the 80s or whatever, but you never, as a musician, I don't think that you actually think about it. You don't sit down and then you say to yourself, well, now I want to do some 70s stuff. I mean, maybe some do, but we definitely don't, and it just feels like for some reason it comes back to. I guess it's because it's connected, deeply in your emotions, or
I think it's stuff that constantly lies in your subconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
Oh, that's right, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why it's so nice. And you're absolutely right. I mean, if you guys actually sat down consciously, and like other bands did that, then it takes away from the music as opposed to adding to it, because you want to add to it, you want to make it grow, you don't want to kind of recess a little bit, because if you're thinking strictly 70s or strictly 60s, then granted the sound's going to come out more like a kind of like that specific genre, even though if you're not going for it.
Yeah, that's just like trying specifically to sound like a band you love, which makes it hard to, as you said, add some of your own emotions into it.
Well, that's right. There's way too many copycats out there right now. A lot of one-hit wonders, and so in some cases, like, I mean, that's why I love the indie scene, because there's always new stuff, or the newer stuff, if you want to call it new stuff, wherever it may be, like the popular, like, let's say, like, top 100, whatever it may be. It's kind of getting into that pattern again, where it's kind of sinking into the same grouping, and that's what we need to get away from again. We need to break through, and let's come up with something else different. Let's give other bands a chance, and let's see what you guys can do. And that's the thing, is this indie scene is slowly but surely growing and growing, and it's nice to hear, because there's so much more new music, and it's so much more exciting. It's for me again, it's almost like picking up your very first record or CD or cassette tape, whatever it may have been, because now with such a huge indie scene going on, you can always pick up something new, and it's exciting again. It's not something you hear on the radio 50 million times and get bored of it after the first week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it actually kind of saves the whole music scene, like, globally, that this underground music scene is there, because there is always something new to pick up, and then they make that popular, and then they, it's kind of what keeps it going, that there's actually something, honest and real underneath the music industry, the money,
It makes balance.
It creates some kind of balance, yeah.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. It's very well put. It's the best way to put it, actually. So we're going to take a quick little break here again, and since we've been speaking of global stuff, we'll get to your song called Spinning Globe. So this is Slaughter Beach with Spinning Globe.
Time's gone.